Hi, and welcome to Development Diaries. The post-war environment has seen the creation of development projects throughout the country. It has also resulted in normalcy in the lives of Sri Lankans everywhere. But, as experience elsewhere in the world has shown, the end of war does not automatically lead to peace in its widest sense. To achieve this involves work, and that is one of the objectives of the National Peace Council. To recognize and encourage others who are working towards this common goal, they have introduced the Citizens' Peace Award.
Dr. Paikisoti Saravanamuttu is welcomed warmly at a ceremony organized by the National Peace Council at the Sri Lanka Foundation Institute in Colombo. He is the first recipient of the Citizens' Peace Award of 2010, an award that recognizes individuals in civil society who have demonstrated courage and consistency in the protection of human rights, the peaceful settlement of disputes, and in promoting increased understanding between and among communities. The NPC has been supported by the Sakai City Government's Peace Contribution Award and the Soroptimists International of Osaka Izumi in the presentation of this award.
In making our first Citizens' Peace Award to Dr. Saravanamuttu, we at the National Peace Council are making a statement of values that we believe that the people of this country also share. Our vision is to live along with our fellow citizens in a peaceful and just country in which freedom and human rights and democratic rights of all people are assured.
The award ceremony was preceded by an event earlier in the day where current peace and reconciliation issues were discussed from the perspectives of religious leaders from the districts. Some of those who participated in this discussion were present to talk about their concerns and congratulate the award winner.
අද ලෝකය මේ ජාතීන් අතර ඇතිවෙන ගැටලු සඳහා ආර්ථික විසඳුම් දේශපාලනික විසඳුම් හොයනවට වඩා ආගමික වශයෙන් යම් විසඳුමක් ලබා දිය යුතුයි කියන තැන පිළි අරගෙන තිබෙනවා. ශ්‍රී ලංකාව පමණක් නෙවෙයි ලෝකයේ මෙවැනි යුදවලට පත්වෙච්ච විවිධ රටවල් වල විවිධ ආගමික නායකයින් තම තමන්ගේ ආගමික බෙදීම් අමතක කරලා එක තැනකට ඒක රාශී වෙලා ආගමික යථාර්ථයන් හොයමින් මේ සමාජ ක්‍රමය මේ බිහිසුණු හිත් තැවීම් මේ දුක්ඛිත තත්ත්වයන් මිදිලා හොඳ මානසික තත්ත්වයක් ඇති කරන්නට මොනවද අපේ ආගම් වලින් අපි දිය යුතු කරුණු කියලා හදාරනවා.
இந்த யுத்தம் முடிவடைந்து 2 வருடங்களாகிய நிலையிலே அந்த அரசியல் தீர்வை முன்வைப்பதற்கு இதுவரை முயற்சிகள் மேற்கொள்ளப்படாத நிலை மிகவும் கவலையான நிலைமை. ஆகவே இப்படியான ஒரு சூழ்நிலையிலே இந்த நாள் எங்களுக்கு ஒரு முக்கியமான நாள் என்று நாங்கள் கருதுகின்றோம். அதாவது பல மாவட்டங்களை சார்ந்த சர்வ மதத்தை சார்ந்த பிரதிநிதிகள் இன்று ஒன்று கூடி தேசிய சர்வமத பேரவை ஒன்றை நாங்கள் ஏற்படுத்தி இருக்கின்றோம். இந்த பிரச்சினைக்கான இனப்பிரச்சினைக்கான தீர்வை நாங்கள் அரசியல்வாதிகளிடமிருந்து மட்டும் எதிர்பார்க்க முடியாது. அடிமட்ட மக்களை பிரதிநிதித்துவப்படுத்துகின்ற சமய தலைவர்களாகிய நாம் இன்று ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு அமைப்பை ஏற்படுத்தி இருக்கின்றோம். இந்த தேசிய சர்வமத பேரவை என்ற இந்த அமைப்பினூடாக அடிமட்ட மக்களுடைய உணர்வுகளை நாங்கள் முன்கொண்டு இந்த பிரச்சினைக்கான தீர்வை நாங்கள் முன்னெடுக்க வேண்டும் என்று எதிர்பார்க்கின்றோம்.
The highlight of the evening, of course, was the award ceremony, which was followed by Dr. Saravanamuttu's acceptance speech.
Friends, our country is at a crossroads, but it is also in crisis. We have won a war, but we are still stuck in a post-war situation. We need to move to what I say is a post-conflict situation, defined in terms of a situation in which the sources of conflict are not sustained and certainly not reproduced. But sadly, there are too many trends that suggest otherwise. At the present moment, economic development is being prioritized as the overarching goal of this country. But in this notion of economic development, sadly, unfortunately, there does not seem to be any room for rights. We are told frequently that questions of governance, of democracy, of human rights, unless you are directly affected, do not arouse and inspire people to action of any sort. But for me, that is not the case. We have to recommit ourselves to the challenge of governance, of human rights in our country. Or else we are facing an autocracy which will deprive us of our fundamental freedoms and liberties. There will be no discussion. It will instead be replaced by diktat. I want to remind you, though, that many, many years ago, 3 centuries ago, Montesquieu made the point, and the point was a simple one. He said that the tyranny of an oligarch is not so dangerous to the welfare of the public as the apathy of a citizen in a democracy. Justice Brandeis made the point that the most important political office is that of a private citizen. Let us ponder on those words, but let us not take too long pondering.
While NGOs and civil society are doing their part towards achieving peace and democracy in the country, the government is focusing its attention on economic development as a point of entry to uplift the country. While much progress is being made on the ground to accelerate development, they are looking at the issue of reconciliation through the Lessons Learned and Reconciliation Commission. Now the Commission has concluded its hearings recently and the final report is out soon. To find out more about the government's role and position on peace and democracy, I spoke to parliamentarian Vasudeva Nanayakkara. The government have done well in the recently concluded local government elections. How do you feel the government should be using the people's mandate now?
Well, building the nation, or the nation building task, broadly speaking, should be the target towards which we have to do many things in the nation building task, which we have not succeeded in doing, though many governments have been in power. And what is meant by nation building is a matter we can go into. The government in particular should devote attention to the masses of people to alleviate their cost of living difficulties by improving their income levels, as the government plans to do. Because the people voted for the government, notwithstanding the difficulties in cost of living. They had a political sagacity or a political consciousness, judgment, which rose above the immediate problems. Though some people tried to fan the immediate problems and sort of work up the people in order to take a anti-government posture. The people had a long-term and a more matured idea about what politics is all about. They were satisfied with the way things are going in the long-term, medium term. And broadly speaking, what the government has been setting out to do, taking all that together, the people have voted with the government.
The government has come some way since ending the war in 2009. But however, peace is something that needs to be worked on. So what do you feel are the challenges the government faces in ensuring peace and democracy in the country?
ensure democracy, then there is peace. And I am very much convinced democracy means that the citizens, whatever communities they belong to, should feel that they are equal citizens in the country and that they have no discrimination or no lesser treatment or higher treatment depending on ethnicity. The moment that has become established, which is democracy, I think the peace we had searched for a long time will sort of follow it or will be a part of it.
So is that sense of confidence being infused in the people? You talk about everybody being treated equally.
Yes, it's a concrete question and practical matter. Now, a person who belongs to ethnic minority speaking Tamil should not feel neglected at any moment, anywhere, in the use of languages. So that's one concrete thing which we are trying to get in place.
My next question is related to development in the country. The government is placing a lot of emphasis on economic development right now. Do you think that the government should also be parallelly looking at other aspects of development? Is enough attention, is enough focus being put into other aspects of development?
Yes, economic development is necessary and essential, but it's not sufficient in order to bring about the unification of the people and the communities. We should approach the question of development on a two-track program. Economic development will become more feasible and successful depending on the relationship between the citizen and the state. The state operates mainly in the economic development, even by promoting self-employment. So self-employment is by the citizen. So the citizen should have comfortable access to the governing process in order to get things going well, successfully and efficiently. So therefore, I think these should not be mutually exclusive.
What are your views on the LLRC? And now the report is due very soon. What are your views on this commission and what
Very
are your
good that
expectations?
we had a commission like that set up, where everybody came and aired their views about the post-conflict period and their needs. And all this should ultimately contribute towards something comprehensive in the matter of understanding the different viewpoints and the needs of the different sections of the people, particularly the affected people. The views and viewpoints of the affected people should form the rock bottom of the report in understanding and remedying or recognizing the grievances and recommending the measures to be taken in order to redress them. I think that should be the net result of the LLR.
And my final question is, the government alone cannot achieve this reconciliation. It involves everybody's involvement and participation. So what do you think should be the role of ordinary citizens, of civil society in this endeavor?
We have already put a full-page advertisement in all 3 languages in the papers, asking the people to get activated in this matter and form their own little organizations and make contact with us. And we hope to form a large network of such organizations and give them the necessary inputs in order to learn, teach and promote cultural and other inter-community activities. So we expect a big participatory process of the people in the work that we are presently undertaking.
Welcome back. The war, which came to an end in May 2009, may seem like a distant memory to some, but this is not the case to those who experience it firsthand and have to live with its consequences. Today, many of those who were displaced during the final phases of the war have been able to return to their homes and restart their lives once again. However, they live in the midst of an unseen enemy, landmines and explosive remnants of war. Our next report takes a look at the extent of the problem and the measures being taken by the National Mine Action Program to address the situation.
Right. இதுதான் மிதிவேடி.
10-year-old Vijay is the youngest of 4 siblings and part of a family that has long been affected by the conflict from even before he was born. Having survived the war relatively unharmed, however, Vijay fell victim to an unseen enemy in January 2010 while awaiting resettlement in a transit camp in Puliyankulam in the northern district of Vavuniya. Venturing out into a field in search of firewood, he lost his leg to a landmine, becoming the 130th civilian since 2005 to be recorded as a landmine victim in Sri Lanka. In total, there are as many as 1,300 such civilian victims in the country. Landmines are a grim legacy of over 25 years of armed conflict in Sri Lanka. Large parts of the north especially, but also the east, are heavily contaminated by mines and explosive remnants of war, posing a serious threat to the safety of civilians living in those areas. The presence of mines is also a significant impediment to the ongoing resettlement of hundreds of thousands of conflict-displaced communities, delaying their return to their homes as well as the re-establishment of their livelihoods and the availability of other social services. Early efforts to rid the country of landmines began as far back as the 1990s, but were discontinued due to escalating and renewed conflict. Then, in 2002, a comprehensive mine action program was launched by the government of Sri Lanka with the support of the UN and other international organizations.
Well, there's 2 UN agencies that are supporting the government. One is UNICEF, who supports on the minerist education, and the second is UNDP, the development program, which really supports the capacity of government in terms of setting up the national structures on mine action. Mine action takes a long time. So in other words, to make the north safe from mines is going to take probably until at least 2015. So that means you're going to have a strong national capacity for many years. And at the moment there is, the Sri Lankan Army has a good demining capacity, and also they are setting up under the Ministry of Economic Development a civilian humanitarian demining unit. And really that's where the future of Sri Lankan demining will remain.
With the help of the assistance of the Sri Lankan Army and some few INGOs who help to demine this area and still active in that field. So we must, have to educate the people. So in that process, the UNICEF have come forward and given this equipment, and not only giving equipment, they were involved from the beginning of educating the people when we resettle.
The threat of landmines and explosive remnants of war will prevail even after the demining of all known mined areas and battle areas is over. It is not uncommon for such devices to be found even years after fighting is ended. Mine risk education is therefore a long-term endeavour, as awareness about the threat of mines and ERWs must span both present and future generations if it is to be truly effective in preventing injury in the future. Steps towards ensuring this kind of sustainability are being taken, such as the inclusion of MRE as a part of the national school curriculum. Mine-safe behaviour must become the norm for all communities, especially those living in mine-affected and conflict-affected areas. Although Sri Lanka's mine action program has been largely successful in the 6 years it has been active, increased commitment is required by the state in particular, but other stakeholders as well, to recognise the long-term nature of the landmine issue and to work towards addressing it effectively. The establishment of a national mine coordination structure and a national mine action centre would hopefully address existing inadequacies, combine the efforts of interested organisations and take Sri Lanka forward towards a truly mine-safe and mine-free future.
Its entertainment value aside, arts in any form has the ability to convey complex social issues with a less confrontational approach. Many have identified this power and are using it for good causes. Janakaraliya is one such group who use improvised theatrical devices to promote national unity. Our final report today takes a look at a recent event held in Colombo to commemorate the first death anniversary of one of its founding members.
Janakaraliya, or Theatre of the People, is a cultural initiative with a unique outreach approach to explore and discuss topics of national relevance. Janakaraliya is different to traditional theatre, as it goes to the people instead of waiting for people to come to it.
ඇත්තටම මේ ජනකරලිය ආරම්භයට ඉස්සෙල්ලා අපි පරක්කම නිරල්ල මහත්මයා සහ එච්.ඒ. පෙරේරා මහත්මයා කියන ඒ සහෝදරවරු දෙන්නත් එක්ක අපි යන්න ඕන අතීතයට. මොකද විවුර්ත කලා කවය කියන වීදි නාට්‍ය කණ්ඩායම පටන්ගෙන අපි මේ ජනතාව අතරට නාට්‍ය ගෙන යන්න කරපු උත්සාහයේ දැනට මේ තියෙන අවසන් ප්‍රතිඵලය තමයි ජනකරලිය.
ඔය වගේ අමීරි ශබ්ද වලට අපි කියනවා ഘോഷාව කියලා. මොකද්ද? ഘോഷාව.
Consciously made up of multi-ethnic theatre performers, Janakaraliya has staged several popular productions in both Sinhala and Tamil, not just to entertain audiences, but also expose them to such multi-ethnic productions. Taking theatre to the people in this manner was the outcome of a lifelong dream for Parakrama Nidiyala, a founder member of the group.
අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ මේ සිංහල දෙමළ ජාතින් දෙකට අයිති මුස්ලිම් එක්ක ඒ ජාතින් තුනටම අයිති මේ තරණ තරුණියෝ ලංකාව පුරාම හොයලා එකතු කරගෙන මේ බහුවාර්ගික නාට්‍ය කණ්ඩායමක් හදලා මේ භාෂා දෙකෙම නාට්‍ය නිර්මාණය කරන්න.
Janakaraliya marked a significant moment in their efforts to promote multi-ethnic theatre when they staged a series of dramas titled Let's Watch Popular Sinhala Drama in Tamil for H.A. These performances were staged at the Tower Hall in Colombo to commemorate the first death anniversary of another of its founding members, H.A. Pereira. The commemorative event also included a seminar which discussed unique drama traditions in Sinhala and Tamil cultures with the participation of leading artists.
අපේ රටේ නාට්‍ය කලාව විදියට දෙමළ නාට්‍ය කලාව දිහාත් බලන්න කියන මතේ එච්චේ සමම හිටියා. ඒතර ජනකල්ලිය පටන් ගත්තේ ඒ වෙනුවෙන්. ජනකල්ලිය ක්‍රියා කරේ ඒ වෙනුවෙන්. ඒතර මේක මේ එච්චේගේ තිබිච්ච මේ මත එක්තේගේ ප්‍රකාශයක් අපි දක්වලා තියෙනවා. ඒක හුඟක් අය දන්නේ නැති දෙයක්. එතකොට ඒකත් අපි පෙන්වන්න ඕනේ.
2003 2004 2005 காலப்பகுதியில் அதாவது இந்த எங்கள் மக்கள் டீமுக்கு ஒரு தமிழ் நபரை அல்லது ஒரு தமிழ் பேசக்கூடிய ஒரு சகோதர சகோதரி சேர்த்துக்கொள்கிறனா கூட பெரும் சிக்கல் இருந்துச்சு. வரமாட்டாங்க, நம்பிக்கை இல்லை. உதாரணத்துக்கு வடக்குலேயோ கிழக்குலேயோ இருந்து எங்களோட டீமில் வந்து சேவை செய்யறதுக்கு ரொம்பவே தயக்கமான சூழ்நிலையாக இருந்துச்சு. இப்போ காலப்போக்கில் என்னென்னு கேட்டால் நிவர்த்தியான சமாதானமான சூழ்நிலை வந்துருச்சுன்னு நாங்கள் நினைக்கிறோம். இப்போ எல்லாம் ஒன்றிணைந்த ஒரு குழு செயற்பாடுகளை செய்கிறதுக்கு தமிழர்கள் சிங்களோடையும் சிங்களர்கள் தமிழர்களோடையும் ரொம்பவே ஐக்கியமான முறையில் ஒன்றிணைஞ்சு வேலை செய்யறதுக்கான சந்தர்ப்பம் உருவாகி இருக்குது.
අපිට වැඩ කරන්න ගත්තට පස්සේ අපි හැමෝම මිනිස්සුયો අපිට එකට වැඩ කරන්න පුළුවන්. අන්න ඒ හැඟීම අපිට ඇති වුණා. එතකොට ඒ වගේම මේ දෙමළ සමාජිකයොත් මේ සැක කළ යුතු පුද්ගලයෙක්වත් එහෙම නැත්නම් සමාජයේ නරක කෙනෙක් කියන හැඟීම අපෙන් තුරන් වුණා. ඒ කියන්නේ අර සැකය බය ආශ්‍රය කරන්න ගනුදෙනු කරන්න තියෙන සැකය බය කියන දේ අපෙන් ඈත් වෙලා ගියා. ඊට පස්සේ අපි ඒකත් එක්ක එකට වැඩ කරන්න ගත්තා.
Veteran Parakrama Niriyalla and the Janakaraliya troupe have travelled across the districts of Sri Lanka, providing people with cultural experiences and promoting social harmony and national integration. This social enterprise has gone beyond mere presentation of dramas in Sinhala and Tamil, but also subtly introduced and created awareness of cultural identity issues and explored options for their conservation and celebration.
That brings us to the end of this week's program. If you have any comments or feedback, do let us know. Until next time, goodbye.